Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman and welcome back to Yoga for Old Guys. It's been a while since I've published a video, so we're going to start today with maybe a very basic yoga start. For some, it may be the first time you've ever done yoga. For those who have followed or continue to do yoga from various sources, this is going to be very basic, but it's kind of a start to 2022. And maybe for some, the first time they've stretched out in a while. So let's get started in a comfortable seated position. Again, for you, comfortable seated might be with your legs out in front of you. It might be with a cross-legged position, but just get comfortable, get the sits bones, those bones in your glutes ground into the mat. And just take a moment, put your wrists or hands on your knees and focus on getting your spine and neck and head straight. Pretend someone is very gently pulling up on the top of your head and your neck, just straightening everything out. Sit up as straight as you're able. This will come over time. And start by taking a deep breath in through your nostrils. Exhaling through your nostrils. Again in. Exhale out. Deep breath in for the third time. And exhale out. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them. Bring your left leg out in front of you. Bring your right, the sole of your right foot, heel up as close as you're able towards your crotch. Bring that in as tightly as you're able. And just without forcing it, just put your chest out over your knee. Try not to curl your back yet. Just bring your chest out over. Work your hands down towards your toes. For some, you're gonna lay right down. For others, not so much. Come back up. Switch legs, right leg out in front, and bring that left heel out in as close and tight up against your right thigh as you're able. And again, now just chest out straight, back straight, lean out over your right knee. Hinge at the lumbar. And I'm guessing for most of this audience, that's a tight area. Come back up. Left leg out. Bring your right foot up over your left knee. Pull that knee as tightly in towards your chest as you're able. You're sitting up straight. Don't lean into it. Sit up straight. Put your right arm out and twist with your torso to the right. Don't twist with your eyes. Twist with your torso. Look out over that right shoulder. Drop the right shoulder if you're forcing it up. Come back. Right leg out. Left foot up and over. And twist to the left. Come back together. Bring the soles of your feet up together. Go ahead and put your hands underneath your feet and bring your heels in as tightly as you're able, spreading your knees, and just gently push down with your elbows on your knees or your calves. Keep your chest up. Open up that groin a little bit. Push them down apart. Not going to lean into it yet. Come back to center. And let's get on all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Keep the neck and head straight in alignment. And now we're going to do what's called cat-cow drop, starting with your lumbar. Start dropping your lumbar, focus on dropping your lumbar, then the small of your back, then the middle of your back, pushing down with your hands, and the last thing to come up is your head and neck. Concaved in like that, small of your back. Now just start rolling up from the lumbar. Very slowly roll one vertebrae at a time up. Head and neck are the last to drop. With your hands, push your shoulders away from the floor. Roll back down into cow, starting with the lumbar. Head and neck come up last. Roll back out into cat. Starting with the lumbar, pushing, rolling up, and pushing your shoulders away. One last time. Roll back down into cat. And roll one more time up into, or that was cow, pushing back into cat. All right, let's come into a neutral spine. Put your hands out about a foot out and come into a high plank. The important thing into high plank right now is, where's your alignment? Head, neck, spine, glutes, heels. It's one line from top to bottom. Now push back into downward facing dog. If you're able to get your heels on the ground, bravo. Most are not going to be able to. Just push back as far as you're able. Let the Achilles and calves just stretch out a little bit. Walk your heels out. Take and bring your right heel up into what's called three-legged dog. Bring your right foot up by your right thumb. Drop your left knee. Come up, right hand, right knee. Bring your left arm up and lean into your right side. Open up that left side, leaning into the right. Come back up. Drop your left hand palm to the ground. Your left toes are down and pointed back. Now reach up with your right hand towards the ceiling. Opening up with the chest if you're able. Keep the knee, right knee pointed as forward as you're able. Both palms to the ground. Push back into downward dog.
Left leg, three-legged dog. Bring the left foot up to the left thumb. Drop your right knee. Point your right toes back. Come up, left hand, left knee. Bring your right arm up and lean into the left side. Open up that right side. Or, yep, open up the right side. Leaning into the left. Come back up. Right palm to the ground. Left palm to the ceiling. Left fingers up to the ceiling. Open up. Palms to the ground. Come back into downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Right foot up by the right thumb. Drop your left knee, point the left toes back. Come up, and now just lean forward into your right knee. Let your right knee go over the right toes as much as you're able. Open up that hip. Come back up. Left arm up again. Lean into the right side. Come back up. Left palm down. Right fingers up. Both palms down. Come back into downward dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot up by your left thumb. Drop the right knee. Come up, lean into that left knee. Let it go out over the ankle, over the toes. Most of the time, you do not want your knees to go over your toes if you're doing lunges or anything like that. But for this stretch, it's okay to open up the hips this way. Come back up. Right arm up, lean into the left side. Come back up. Right palm to the mat. Left arm to the ceiling. Both palms to the mat. Come back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet and just let your head, neck, hang everything down with a slight bend in your knees. Bend your knees as much as you need to so your fingertips touch the mat or the floor. Now roll slowly up, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your hands up over your head, palms in. Turn your triceps forward. So turn your palms towards the back as much as you need to, so your triceps are pointed forward. Hands down to your sides, palms forward. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. For many of us, if we're sitting at a desk or we're walking or standing, our shoulders are pulled forward, rounded in. Let's open that up. Hands back up, triceps pointed forward. Forward fold, bending at the knee as much as you're able so you can touch the mat. Walk your fingertips out to a high, you're in a high plank now. Check your alignment. Drop your knees to the mat. Bring your big toes together. and push back into child's pose. Walk your fingers away from your body, going forward. Let your back stretch out. Come back into all fours. Curl your toes under. Come into downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale to flat back. For many, your hands are going to be up on your shins. Maybe for some, it's going to be on your thighs. Come into a flat back. Look forward. Get your head and neck straight in alignment. Spread the lats. Get that back open. Forward fold. Inhale, roll up, hands overhead, triceps forward. Bring your hands down to your sides. We're going to do very slowly a basic Vinyasa flow. For some, it may be the first time. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into high plank. Lower to about 4 inches from the ground into what's called chaturanga. Hold and go all the way to the floor. Now, with your palms at your sides, at your ribs, just push up just slightly, so you're from the brow line up, you are off the ground, everything is down, and come back down. One more time. This is called baby cobra. You can always do this in a vinyasa flow. One more time to the ground. One more time, baby cobra. And down. Push up to high plank. This time we're going to lower down to 4 inches, chaturanga. Point your toes back. Come into upward facing dog. The only thing touching is your toes. Everything else is in line off the ground. Bend at the lumbar. If you have back problems, don't do this. Do baby cobra. Curl your toes under. Push back into downward facing dog. That is the flow of what's called the Vinyasa flow. Walk your fingers back to your toes. Forward fold. Roll up to standing. Hands overhead, triceps forward. Hands at your side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands out to high plank. Push back into downward facing dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Bring your right foot up by your right thumb. Drop your back foot to about a 45 degree. We're setting up for warrior one. Right knee is bent, left leg is straight. Come up. Start by just the chest out, arms at the side. And using your core, bring yourself up to warrior one. Palms turned in, triceps pointed forward. Right knee is straight, or right knee is bent. Left leg is straight. Left foot is about 45 or so. This is warrior one. Hands back down to the mat. High plank. Push back into downward facing dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Left foot up by your left thumb. Now drop your right foot 45 degrees using only your abs. Come up at the waist. Raise your arms for warrior one. Hands to the mat. High plank. Push back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees as much as you need to touch the mat. Let your head and neck hang. Roll up into standing. Take a wide step out so your feet are 3-4 feet apart. Toes are pointed straight ahead. With your hands on your waist, bend forward at the waist, keeping your legs straight. Let your head and neck hang, fingers to the mat. Bring your feet far enough apart so you can touch the mat. Very gently, just bend your left knee and lean to the left. Just very gently stretch out that right leg. Come back up to center. Bend the right knee slightly, very gently. Lean over to the right, pushing your glutes back and down. Stretching out the left leg. Come back to center. One more time over to left, bend the left, push your bum and your glutes back. Like you're sitting down just slightly. Don't lean forward. Come back up to center. Right leg, bend the right knee, glutes back and down. Stretch out that left leg. Feel that stretch there. Come back up. Head and neck hang. Walk your fingers back between your legs. Come back up, hands on your waist and step into center. Very brief chance to balance today. All of this is very basic, very important, especially the older we get on our balance. So ground into your left foot. Pretend that your foot has 4 corners and get all 4 corners of your left foot on the ground. Not too much on the heel, not too much on the toes. All 4 corners are down. And just take your right foot out in front of you 6 inches. Find a focal point for yourself that isn't moving. And just focus. If you're able, bring your hands to heart center for a little bit of a challenge. It engages the core. The whole time you're standing up as straight as you're able. And bring them both to the ground. Walk that out if you need be. Ground into the right foot this time. All 4 corners of the right foot on the ground. And come out with your left foot just a few inches in front of you off the ground. and find that focal point. Almost everyone has a side that they balance better on consistently. Sometimes your balance is not good on either side depending upon the day. But it's this simple balance exercise done frequently help you strengthen the hip. It'll strengthen the glute, which will give you an overall better posture, which overall better balance. And our balances are not going to get better with age. So we need to work on it. And come back down to center. One more time, ground into the left foot again. All four corners of the left foot down. This time, bring your right toes out behind you. Legs straight. Find that focal point. Engage that left hip, left glutes. Come back down. Switch over to the other side. I'm on the right side now. Ground into the right and toes behind you. How straight are you able to stand? You fall out of it, come back in. And come back down. Walk it out. All right, one more area of work today. Let's come down to the mat and take a seated position on the mat. We're going to do some core work. Strengthen that core just very gently. The plank is probably the best thing you can do for the core. We'll work up to that. So sit with your heels, your sits bones are ground in, heels are touching, knees are up, excuse me, and to start with, take your left leg out in front of you. Keep your right heel down, left leg's in front of you, back is straight. Lean back a little bit into a kind of a boat position. Left heel down, right leg straight. Doesn't feel like it right now, but you are engaging your core. Both heels down. Now let's bring both legs up. And go ahead, you don't have to straighten them out. You can keep them bent if you like. With both legs up and bent, take your left leg and just straighten it out. Switch, right leg straight, left leg bent. Switch, left out. Switch, right out. And just briefly, let's bring both of them straight. And if you can, come into boat. And down. Let's come back into that center mat, comfortable seated position. Bring the soles of your feet together again. Push down with your elbows against your shins or knees. And just now lean out with your chest, keeping your back, neck straight.
Legs straight out in front of you. Forward fold. If you're able to touch your toes, that's great. Just lean your chest out over your knees. Come back up. Again, find that comfortable seated position. Big breath in through the nose. Another one. Okay, that's a very basic yoga exercise, about 30 minutes, and just a lot of stretching and warm up with some of the more basic poses. We did Warrior One and some balance. And as we go along, we're going to build upon that. So until next time, I'm Kurt Bowman, and be sure to like and share, subscribe if you like, and if you want to drop me a line, send me an email at yogaforoldguys@gmail.com. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.